Hey guys, I'm Justin here with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're going to be breaking down the Exedy Mach 400 Stage 1 clutch and hydraulic throwout bearing fitting all 2005 to 2010 GT Mustangs. Now, the Exedy will appeal to lightly modded GT owners out there who are looking for a daily driver-friendly clutch capable of holding up to 510 pound-feet of torque at the crank while still delivering a slightly heavier pedal feel compared to stock. But let's dive a little bit deeper here into the Mach 400 Stage 1 clutch, and that 400 in the name is in direct relation to the torque capacity here of the Exedy clutch. Again, upwards of 408 foot-pounds of torque to the tires or 510 foot-pounds of torque to the crank. Again, that is according to Exedy. So with that being said, and with that in mind, certainly going to be more for the daily drivers, light bolt-on cars, maybe mild forced induction setups, but certainly not the max effort forced induction or nitrous cars, as the Stage 1 offering is just really not going to have enough power to hold those all-out setups. Now, if you do have a built motor 3-valve and you are making a good bit more steam, well then at that point, you should certainly consider something with a little bit more holding power, like a twin disc, for instance, or a single disc that's going to utilize a more aggressive friction material. But let's break down how the Mach 400 will hold that power, and it all starts with the friction disc here in this case, guys. Again, you're looking at an organic material for the friction disc, which, let's face it, does have its pros and its cons. Now, the big pros here will be that very smooth engagement and overall drivability benefits. It's not gonna kill you in traffic, and it's gonna be very, very streetable. Now, at the same time, it still is able to hold a little bit more power than your stock clutch, of course. And at the end of the day, if you are looking to replace and maybe upgrade, this thing is going to be about half the cost of those more expensive twin discs. Now, the cons are eventual limit or ceiling of just how much power you can support using a single organic disc such as this. And at that point, once you outgrow this clutch, well, at that, you're just basically going to have to step up to a ceramic or a Kevlar material for that friction disc, which will be a little less forgiving on the street. They're a little bit more aggressive. And at that point too, you can also step up to one of those twin discs we mentioned earlier. Definitely going to be more expensive, but those are going to kind of deliver the best of both worlds in regards to a soft pedal feel, but ultimate holding capabilities. All right, guys, so we know that the Mach 400 Stage 1 equivalent clutch is going to deliver that single organic compound disc here with the sprung hubs design in the center. That's going to help reduce drivetrain shock over basically an unsprung design. Now, on top of that, guys, this particular friction disc is going to be paired up with Exedy's matching high clamp load pressure plate, which is going to provide approximately 40% more clamping force over your stock clutch. So those two combined, again, going to deliver some upgrades over that stock clutch that you are replacing. Last but not least, guys, this particular kit does include a brand new hydraulic throwout bearing here from Exedy, which is always something I'm going to strongly recommend whenever you're replacing a clutch in the first place, because basically you're in there, you're doing the maintenance, you might as well knock this out at the same time, because you'd hate to do everything but your throwout and then basically have this thing go out on you another year or so down the road and just basically have to do it all over again. But aside from the basic clutch materials here, guys, you are getting a brand new bearing, of course, in addition to a clutch alignment tool, along with that pilot bearing here, and basically everything needed for the installation. Now, quick reminder here, guys, the Exedy can be used with both your stock or an aftermarket flywheel of your choosing, and this thing is designed to specifically fit the 10-spline TR3650 manual trans found in all 05 to 10 GTs. Now, your price point for the Exedy Mach 400 Stage 1 equivalent clutch and throwout bearing is going to live right around that $500 mark here. Certainly puts this on the upper side, if you will, of the price spectrum when we're talking Stage 1 clutches. Now, one thing you do have to keep in mind here, guys, and definitely consider at that price point, is that you are also receiving the extra hydraulic throwout bearing, which, by the way, can cost basically between $100 to $200 on its own if you were to go to Ford or just buy this from Exedy alone. So factor that into the actual clutch, and it kind of makes sense as to why this particular option does cost a little bit more than maybe your standard run-of-the-mill Stage 1 offerings here on the site. Now moving into your installation here, gang, and obviously this is not going to be for the first-time wrenchers out there. Figure a full-blown 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and at least 4 hours to complete from start to finish, maybe a little bit more if this is your first time doing it. Now, unfortunately for this video, we don't have a step-by-step install for you, but the big steps obviously include getting the car in the air, removing the exhaust and the drive shaft, and then ultimately dropping that transmission in order to access the clutch and all the stuff here you are going to replace it with. Now, as always, if you don't have the necessary means to tackle this job, whether it be a lift or tools, then don't hesitate to reach out to your local shop to give you a hand. So wrapping things up here, guys, again, if you are a 3-valve GT owner out there, light bolt-ons, maybe a mild forced induction setup, and you want to go with one of the most popular clutches on the site today to deliver more holding capabilities with a very enjoyable pedal feel, well then be sure to check out the Mach 400 Stage 1 clutch from Exedy right here at AmericanMuscle.com.